To the Poshed Pros tax prep workshop. We're going to go ahead and get started here. Let me get back to my screen so I can share this presentation with you, and then we will get going. Maybe it'll let me share. Give me 1 second. Come on. This has actually never happened before. It's like telling me it's paused. And I'm like, no, it is not paused. I am pushing unpause. Give me 1 second too. Maybe that's why. Okay. Let me get out of that really fast. Okay. Okay, here we go. Of course, there's a technical difficulty here. Okay. Can you guys see the screen now? Awesome, awesome. Wonderful. Okay, let's kick it off and get going. We are so excited that you are here. We actually had about 40 people register for this webinar, so we know that more will be hopping on. But as we get started, if you guys will chat in the chat thread and tell us where you are joining from, and also what your industry expertise is, hair, makeup, tan, whatever it might be, tell us in the chat thread there so we can make sure that we are catering this to you. Before we get going too much into our tax workshop today, I do want to introduce ourselves and the Poshed company. We are a female-led tech startup, Poshed Inc., and we are on a huge mission to break the status quo, not just in the beauty industry, but also in the male-dominated technology industry. With this, we have a few different technologies that we have released or will be releasing in 2024 to empower beauty professionals to have a better career. We know that 30% of you leave by year 3. In that, we know that this industry as a whole could be doing so much better in regards to career outlook and money made, flexibility, profitability, and sustainability of your beauty business. So that is what we are here to do, is to bring technology, but also, and most importantly, this community into play to help beauty professionals grow in their businesses. And I want to back up just a little bit and share kind of how I even got here, because I'm actually not in the beauty industry. My name is Ruth Schroner. I am the founder and the CEO of this company. And it's Christmas time, and Christmas always brings a lot of emotions for me. So I'm going to go way back for just a second. Bear with me through story time. But I was probably 7 years old. And I'll never forget my parents coming to me and my 5 siblings at the time and telling us that there was no money for Christmas that year, and that there wasn't going to be any presents under the tree. And as a 7-year-old, you know, that's kind of like a huge thing. They didn't tell us Santa existed. So that's a whole nother story though. But, and since that time, as I was 7 years old, I have, for some reason, took it upon myself to try and figure out, number one, a way to help my parents. But also, I have also worried about money for my own future and in my own career. Fast forward, I went to college. I did all the things. I got a master's degree. I married someone who also has an advanced degree, did all the things right. In 2014, after doing all the things that the world told me I was supposed to do, I remember just looking at all the student loan debt we had, all the debt we had in general, and freaking out about having kids in the future and thinking I'm going to end up exactly like my parents. Like, I'm going to continue the cycle for my family. And at about that same time, I learned about this company that allowed you to use their technology and their product and sell that product as an independent salesperson. And I decided to hop into that, see what it was all about, and it changed everything about my life. And I broke the cycle of generational debt and struggle for my family. And I'm so blessed and I'm so thankful for that company and that opportunity. because it completely changed who I was. And it wasn't the product I was selling that changed who I was. It was the community in the background that empowered me as a female business owner to step into my own power, recognize my own unique gifts, and then use that to build a business. Fast forward 10 years after I've been doing that for a decade, I was now helping other women build their own business online and through social media. And as part of that, I was in Florida hosting a business conference for women. I wanted a blowout. There was nothing there. So I got online and then got in an Uber. Anyways, it was 40 minutes wasted trying to find someone to give me a blowout because the spa didn't have anything available. And I was getting ready to go on stage that day. And in that, I thought to myself, why isn't this a thing? Why doesn't it exist? Why can't I just get on my phone and book an app or book a blowout to come to me? And fast forward, I found out that it was a thing. And I looked into building that type of company. I talked to what is my now CTO, and he told me the risk involved. He told me the investment involved. And I said, absolutely not. I am not going to risk everything I've built for that. That sounds crazy. And I walked away from it. And it wasn't until 6 months later when I had this realization. So I've had the same hairdresser for 8 years, a long time. And in this, we always talk about the beauty industry, and I'm always like talking about business and careers and things like that. And it wasn't until I started looking at what we could build for beauty professionals that I decided to launch Poshed Inc. I looked at the competitors who are doing mobile blowouts, things of that sort. And I said, we could do it better. We can give beauty pros more money in their pocket. We can build an empowering community and truly pay forward everything that I learned in my business I was offered a decade ago to beauty professionals. And that's where I decided the risk was worth it. If we could create an army to help women, as it's primarily women in this industry, 90% women, 66% people of color, step into their own power and use our technology to build a better life for themselves, to maybe overcome their generational trauma or that cycle of debt that I had in my family, that to me was worth it. And so here we are today. We officially launched our first product in July. We have been learning a ton, and now we are launching the Poshed Pro platform here today. So thank you so much for being here. And in this, I'll tell you a little bit more about the Poshed Pro platform and what it is. And I truly think the Poshed Pro platform is the magic behind all of this, because it is the community that we are building. But before I do that, if you guys want, we will be doing a raffle at the end of this call. And anyone who hops on and says that you invited them, we have a $50 raffle that we'll be giving away, whether that's Amazon or a beauty credit to whatever industry professional that you shop with. There, you can scan the QR code in that. You can copy and paste this. You can text it to a friend. You could post it on your Instagram. We have all of it there. So I'm going to give you a second to scan that QR code so you can easily copy and paste. We wanted to make it as easy as possible for you. And you can share that with your followers. My dog is scratching at the door. Let me let him out, and I'll be right back so you guys can hear this. Okay. And this, you can just use this tiny URL and send that to people as well. All right, on the Poshed Pro, what we have here, where all of you went to register for this webinar today. As I said, we have just launched it and we are beta testing it now. But on this, it is a one-stop shop for all beauty professionals. We plan to build this out so you can come here and find all the beauty professional events that are happening in your area and also across the nation or even world at some point. But in this one-on-one advanced training, if you're looking for a mentor, in-person trainings and certifications, conferences and expos will be on there, cosmetology schools, and much more. If you are an educator, this is our option number 2 for you. We are actually looking for 5 more people who want to beta test this software with us. I'm working with All In Beauty. She's out of Brooklyn and a phenomenal permanent makeup artist educator. We've been working together for the past few weeks with her training courses that will be going live on there. And do I have anyone from Atlanta on right now? If you're in Atlanta, Christina Fernandez from all in beauty. She will be in your area hosting an actual technical training in just a few weeks. So you can actually go to our website now, and that training is up and running over there, and you could register for that event. But with this, if you were to compare our pricing, because we're not taking we're not charging for this at right now. So when you compare the ticketing fees to Eventbrite, we can save you 2%. So right now that's like $40 on the tickets that are being offered right off the top. So we're looking for ways, how do we make this a better option for beauty pros while also saving everybody money in this? We also do custom marketing for you to our 30,000 subscribers that are nationwide. So you can, if you know somebody, or if you are somebody who wants to potentially do that, then there is a link I will put into our chat thread in just a little bit, and you can submit your information there. And then we also have a free community. I'm going to put this in the chat thread as well, where you can join our free community. And it's essentially just a group where beauty professionals come together. We will have the recordings of these trainings in that group. Any free PDFs or tools that are created and given to you will be in this group as well. And then you get $10 off your first event purchase on the Poshed Pro. So if you were to sign up for a paid training event, you get a $10 off coupon for that event. Awesome. So those are the 3 ways we have on the Poshed Pro right now to help empower the beauty community. And where we see this going is just an awesome group of women and men across the US who are learning and growing together in their beauty business. Nope. Well. So as you can see here, and I'm going to link all this, but I'll give you this presentation. And when you click here, it's going to take you to become a Poshed Pro member. When you click here, if you have a training that you'd like to add on our platform, you can submit that form there. And then this is actually also going to take you to that referral option I just posted. So I'm going to drop this link in just a moment once I pass this off, so you guys can access those links. The next training that we have up and coming is December 19th, and this will be hosted by Holly Hillier. She's the founder CEO of 7 Strong Co., and it is a social media expertise company where she trains other entrepreneurs how to build their online presence. So she's going to be doing a free training for us on December 19th. You can register by clicking there. Again, I'm going to share this with you. And she will be going through all of her tips and tricks to help you in your beauty business grow your online reach and your engagement on your social media platforms. And I should say, social media is how I found my hairstylist 8 years ago. She was actually working for a salon, but I was searching for hair extensions, and she had tagged #Kansas City hair extensions. I found her page, and I have been with her ever since. And I feel like I'm a really good client. I feel like very consistent. Okay, last thing before I introduce our speaker for today, one more time, if you just hop on, we are doing a raffle. So you can go ahead and scan that QR code, and this will pop up so you can copy and paste it to your friends, get them on this. At the end, we'll ask if anyone joined with that, and we will do a raffle for anyone who joins and says that you invited them. All right. And now for our main event, I'm so excited to introduce to you Jaci North, who is a founder and CEO of Perryman Peak Accounting. She is just a badass, you guys. A wealth of information, especially when it comes to the tax code and making sure that tax code is working for you in your beauty business. I know when I started my own business a decade ago, I had no idea how to navigate taxes or write-offs or what I needed to do or how I needed to do it, or if the IRS was going to come knocking at my door. And especially as a new business owner a decade ago, I didn't really have the money at that time to just hire someone to do it all for me. So while I hired someone to give me advice, like what Jaci offers as well, I had to do a lot of this month-to-month stuff by myself. And then I would work with somebody quarterly or at the end of the year to make sure I had all the things that I needed, and they helped me set up my tax stuff to submit to the government. So with that, she's a wealth of information. Jaci, I am going to pass it off to you and allow you to take over.
All right. Hi, everyone. Again, I am Jaci. My name is spelled crazy, thanks to my mom. We're still working through that, Where do I start? Okay, so I love Ruth's story. It's so inspiring to me, and I kind of wanted to give a little background while I pull up my screen. About kind of how I stumbled into being a little bit more passionate about taxes than a normal human being would be. It's mostly annoying and a lot of people hate it, but there was the Benjamin Franklin quote that the only thing guaranteed in life is death and taxes, and that is true. I'm trying to figure out how to share my screen, so I'm not sure what's each. No, Ruth, I tried. Okay. Here we are. Share. I just a little bit more about kind of why I got here was I started working. I was about to start more business a few years ago. I partnered with one of my friends. We're all ready to open, and it hit the fan real quick, and things went sour. And I, at that moment, decided that I would never let anything like that happen to me again. I'm so sorry. Okay, I'm just gonna keep going. Let me know if it's getting stuck somewhere. One of the things I learned was partnerships and all of the tax structures I could use to my advantage. So I'm going to go over those pretty quickly. But Ruth, if you can chime in, is it getting stuck? It's choppy. I'm sorry. I see a chat. Let me make sure everything is good.
Because it kind of started when you started sharing.
Do you want to try sharing?
Yeah, maybe if I share it, then because I'm wondering if that's maybe what it is. Let me pull up your slides over here. And maybe go back and share how you fell into this, because that was super choppy for me.
Is it choppy now, or am I good without, well, I'm not sharing the screen.
You are good while you're not sharing. Yeah, I'll pull this up.
Okay.
And then go from there.
Okay, so again, if everyone can hear me, I'm sorry, but of course, there's always something, always something. But one of the reasons I am passionate about the tax code and business structure and protecting yourself is because I fell into a space where I did not protect myself properly in a partnership. And I didn't know the rules, I didn't know how it worked, and I didn't know kind of what my rights were in structure and all of that. So it's kind of my mission right now to make sure all small business owners can use the structure of the tax code to your advantage, because there's so much power in that knowledge, and I want to make sure everyone has that. And I can see your screen, so that's perfect. Okay, so let's get started. I'm not sure where everyone's at in their business, but we're going to kind of go over some of the main points that I want everyone to come away with if they do not know this already. So I put this quote up: in school, we learn that mistakes are bad and we're punished for making them. Yet if you look at the way humans are designed to learn, we learn by making mistakes. We learn to walk by falling down. If we never fell down, we would never walk. And the reason I wanted to start with this is because a lot of people, it's easy for us to get shame and embarrassed and feel maybe bad about not understanding their taxes, or maybe not doing them right in the past, or just not sure where to go. And I guarantee we've all been there, and we've all been confused, and we've probably all stumbled, but it's okay. That's how we learn, and that's how we get back up. And being a business owner, it's your job to learn enough to keep going, because this is where people grow the most in their business, when they start using the tax code to save money, put more money in their pocket. They're going to act like that business owner the more they learn. So let's get going. Next screen, Ruth. Thank you. Okay, so the first thing I want to go over is business structures, because whatever you are now doesn't mean that's what you'll always be. And it's important to understand the number one reason to know business structures, especially an LLC, is for asset protection. So I get this question a lot about, should I open my LLC? I've already had everything going. My business is great. When or why do I need an LLC? And a lot of people think that that's for tax reasons. And of course, we're going to get into that. But the number one reason is actually asset protection. So whenever someone asks, when should I open my LLC? My answer is yesterday. Like, please make sure we are taking advantage of this amazing chance to protect yourself. So a lot of what we talk about is protection, because someone gets hurt, maybe you're doing a service, someone trips, something happens, and without that LLC, they could go after everything in your bank account. So the number one business structure I absolutely recommend, if you do not have one yet, is an LLC. Separate your bank account, separate your books. So not only can you take advantage of taxes, because without that, it's a lot harder to do, but you will protect yourself. And I want you all to be as protected as possible. So that is great for taxes, but first and foremost, I want to protect you and your businesses and your families and everything outside of your business. Keep them separate. Separate bank, separate everything. If anyone needs any recommendations on that, feel free to email me and we can go over that together. But we'll talk about that later as well. Wait, sorry. Can you go back? Thank you. Okay. One more thing about the business structures, and then I see we also have a question, and I can stop here as well. When you have an LLC, if there's multi-members, you can put more than one person on the LLC. That automatically makes you a partnership, so you'll have a little bit more tax compliance there. You can also elect to file as an S corporation, which I see a lot of TikToks about. So I'm sure you've seen that before too. I would not recommend it for everyone. It's very much on a business to business basis. So make sure before you are jumping into any S Corp to go over that with a tax professional to make sure that's absolutely the best decision for you. And then also there is the C corporation, which is just a whole different scenario. So let me go ahead and look and see. Thank you for your question, Stephanie. She's an LLC. However, they're looking at leasing a space. One of the spaces requires both my husband and I to sign a personal statement to where they can come after me and my personal assets. Yes, that is unfortunately absolutely normal. And again, unfortunately, you do have to sign your life away for commercial spaces. Like, don't get me started. I have a real issue on this and growing the community and why it is the way it is. But yes, it is normal. It is completely doable, or they are allowed to do that. So it's up to you on whether or not you want to take that risk or not. But they will ask for that. They'll put only you on the LLC for that, but then you and did you say your husband will be responsible for that in case the payment can't be made? Any other outside of those contracts, they cannot come in to your normal bank account or any of your other assets outside of that specific situation. If that makes sense, let me know if it doesn't, and I can go over that a little bit more at the end. Thank you for your question. That's, yeah, frustrating. Okay, let's go to the next slide. Ruth, thank you. Okay, so for LLC taxes and for most of the business structures I've listed, when you're able to separate your bank account for your business and your personal life, you are able to lock into so many more deductions as long as you have those receipts and you document as much as possible. We were at a conference lately where a lot of the tax law cases that went to court, many times the taxpayer was in the right, but if they didn't have proper documentation, then they weren't awarded some of their cases. So it's as simple as keeping those receipts and keeping documentation and recording everything that you think would be related to what you're trying to deduct. But make sure everyone is checking. Are you deducting your cell phone? Are you doing business use of your personal car to and from your Poshed appointments, going to visit those people at their homes? You can absolutely deduct travel to that. Any education and training, make sure you are documenting that on your business books. I know it's so easy to just go on our phone these days and make sure, I've got all my debit cards like saved in many random places, and if whatever's easiest at the time, I will go ahead and click pay, but with a little extra work and a little extra setup to make sure that's going through your business bank account, you can absolutely deduct that. You can think about retirement plans, paying yourself for your health insurance premiums, interest on your bank charges, your credit cards, any interest related to those business charges are absolutely deductible. Those can get pretty high pretty fast, so it's always good to keep those documented. Any legal, bookkeeping, or tax services, and depreciation, which Stephanie would have all the access to. Say she gets that space and she moves into her own sort of leasing agreement and she starts buying larger mirrors and chairs and all the things that go into your building. We have this magic tax deduction called depreciation, and it's basically like an invisible deduction. The IRS will pay you back money for using the objects and your fixed assets. They will say, oh, well, okay, it gets used and used. It has less value as it goes. So you're going to deduct that as time goes. Even if in the real world, it's not losing any value, the IRS feels that it's losing value, which is great for us because we get to deduct that as an expense. I'm going to check my messages because I'm talking pretty fast. Yes, Ruth, cars can be included in depreciation, which if you are on the verge of making some of those purchases by the end of this year, depreciation is still at 80% through the end of the year. So you get to write off 80% of any business automobile. So make sure that it's going into your business using business bank accounts and cards and documenting that. And obviously make sure you ask a professional to make sure it's all recorded properly. Selling products to schools for educational learning, anything I should be aware of, says Allison. Selling products to schools. Allison, what kind of products are we talking about? Maybe if I can get a little more detail, or if you want to say that to the end, we have some more time for questions at the end if we want to get into that, because sometimes they could be different. And I want to make sure I cover that. So let's go. I think we only have one more slide and then we will go back to Allison's. Is that right? Yeah, Allison. Okay, so I want to end some of our detailed description on deductions and LLCs and all of that to one of the most important pieces of tax strategy is shifting your mindset from what is my net income and am I making money to how much taxes have I saved and do I have cash flow coming in? So this was a huge switch in my brain for me when I realized things like depreciation and deducting other items that you normally would do personally. From seeing, say you're making 100,000 and we get your tax income down to 5,000. And that number at the bottom of your tax return makes it look like you've made 5,000 this year. And I know it's hard for us as humans and business owners to look at that number and be like, I made way more than $5,000. Like, I don't want to do that. That makes me look like my business is not as successful as it is. But in tax IRS land, you have hit the jackpot if we can get that down and you are paying less taxes. You are keeping more money in your pocket, and that does not change your cash flow. So if you have a steady, really awesome cash flow every month, you're bringing in revenue, you're paying for your expenses, you're saving up for investing, you're doing all of this, and you feel awesome, your tax income needs to be as small as it can so we can get you where you want to go and you can use that money for yourself instead of giving. What I say is the IRS we need to pay our taxes, but we don't need to pay the IRS tip money. Okay. So anything that you can save is so much better for us and small businesses, and making sure that we're doing the work that we are called to do and that make our communities a better place. We are the backbones. I fully and firmly believe that. And if we can use the tax code to our advantage, then we can make sure we're positioning ourselves to do more and fulfill more of what our purpose is. So, soapbox. Thank you. So I'm going to open it up to any more questions. If anyone has specifics, I think sometimes in tax land, it's hard because a lot of your questions are going to be like, it depends. And I do have one more topic that Ruth and I were discussing earlier, but let me see. Okay. Allison says cosmetic products, foundation, eyeliner, mascara. Okay. I don't think there's anything you should be aware of except for sales tax for your state, which we haven't touched on a lot of. Thank you for reminding me. There's so many different taxes, right? There's income tax, there's sales tax, all of that. For service industries, typically we don't have to pay the sales tax to the state unless we're selling the products. So, and that's a whole nother thing to make sure you're hitting a certain threshold. You don't have to do it if you've sold a few or whatever, but that could be something that you would want to talk to a professional about to make sure you're in compliance of state sales tax for actual products. But that's the only thing I can think of as far as that. Gracie says, can you claim items bought for salon on Facebook Marketplace without physical receipt? I believe that would be absolutely reasonable to claim those as deductions if you're buying them for your business. If you record where you bought it and how much it was, I would think that that would be sufficient evidence for the purchase and to deduct it as part of your business expenses. Absolutely. Are there any expense tracking apps and software? Absolutely. Great point, Ruth. I will go ahead and put together a little post call with some of my favorites, maybe a PDF with some of my favorite apps. I know there's receipt trackers. I personally work in QuickBooks Online, and the app on the phone is super easy to use. You just go onto the receipt section and snap a photo or send your email to it as well. So I can't grab those all off the top of my head, but there are a few really great receipt trackers, especially if you're going to be using your car and deducting miles as a business expense for driving to and from or whatever that entails. We'll make sure we get some ideas on how to record those business miles to make sure you're deducting those as well. It seems like there's a lot going on and you need to record everything, but once you get the right apps, like you guys, we have it so good these days. People like Ruth who are becoming tech people to give us what we need and what helps us move the ball forward. Wave is another free bookkeeping program. Yep, I've heard pretty good things about Wave. I don't have a ton of experience with that one. Xero, Xero is another really good free book. I don't know if that one's free, but I'll check on that. Yeah, screenshot of all the purchases. Yeah, go ahead and look. I'll put together a list for you guys. One other item we were talking about was travel expenses, especially for beauty professionals. If you are traveling to any sort of conference or learning aspect, absolutely deduct that travel and any expenses you occur in that situation, as well as traveling to clients. That is a business expense, especially if that is the reason for your travel. That is valid and reasonable to deduct those travel expenses. Make sure you talk to a professional as well to double check maybe how long you need to work that day to cover that day as a business full day. But meals and traveling, those are all an absolutely necessary business deduction if you are doing those activities. So make sure to include those in your questions with your tax professional as well. Let me see. Okay, I think we got a lot of those really great questions. Thank you all for adding those. I did want to mention that if anyone needs tax advisory help, just like Ruth said, sometimes you're not at the place where you need someone to actually file them for you or do all the work, but just to be able to be confident in your numbers and in your business for tax presentation purposes. I think that we are getting to the age where the IRS is actually using AI, which is really scary, to decide which tax e-files or cases that they want to take. So they will search through the AI documents to pull out keywords. And they, unfortunately, but it's okay, we will all be okay, are targeting much smaller businesses. They used to be going after the big C Corps, as we've seen in the last decade, and now they are kind of gearing more towards the small businesses, the S Corps, the partnerships, a lot of what we file on our own, especially what's called Schedule C. If you've noticed, many of yours are probably located on your Schedule C on your tax return. If you don't know where it is, take a look and let me know if you need help deciphering where it is and what you should be focusing on. But those are kind of where they tend to target now, and what we've been told will be something coming up, because they know a lot of us are doing it ourselves, maybe not working with someone, and that's just unfortunately an easy target. But that is why I want to do a little more of this and help more of you make sure that you are protecting yourself, not only from the IRS, but from anything else, and lowering your taxes legally and in a way that doesn't have any red flags. So I'm offering tax advisory for next year. It's going to be exciting, and I'm going to start with a wait list. If you want to get on it, I'll send Ruth the link and she can post that out to join my wait list. And that could be anything from just asking questions every month, or looking through your financials and making sure that you're getting all the deductions that you can take so we can save you money.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Jackie. That was awesome. And also like scary about the tax IRS coming after like the little people. Can the little people get a break?
Oh, why? Come on. It's ridiculous.
We know these big conglomerates are probably paying them off, right? Like, what is happening? Like, what was the headline? There was one like huge company, it was like Facebook or Amazon or Google. It was one of those like big headliners. It was something how like they didn't pay any taxes or something a few years ago. I remember hearing
Amazon. I think it was Amazon.
Which is wild. Yeah. Wild. Wow.
It's wild. It's for sure wild.
But
we'll be okay. We'll get it done, guys. We'll get it done.
Thank you so much, you guys. In the chat thread, I link bombed all of you with the links, but over there you will see Perryman Peak Accounting. That's Jaci's website. I also put her Instagram. Go give her a follow over there and share her with all of your friends as a thank you for her time being with us today. We appreciate this so much. And I also put the links in there for the different options for using the Poshed Pro to empower your own business, whether that's joining our trainings every month or marketing your own educational events on our platform, as well as I discussed in the beginning. So definitely check there. One thing Jaci said about creating an LLC, she's like, do it sooner rather than later. I kind of have like a crazy story about this, but with Poshed, we were at a vendor event. So like just a female vendor event. And we have a rug that we always put out at this event. And I kid you not, you guys, this woman, she's probably like 65, 70. She like walked into our booth and she tripped over the rug. And I was like, oh, are you okay? Like, I'm so sorry. Like, just checking on her. She goes, yeah, I'm fine, but you're lucky I didn't fall or I'd be suing you guys. I kid you not, she said that. And I wanted to be like, well, that's fine because we don't got anything. There's nothing for you.
Try and get into that bank account. Just try.
I'm like,
yes.
We are
Perfect story. Yes, absolutely. People are a little nutso, so.
I was just taken back. It was a bridal event, like someone's and she was dead serious. I was like, but I think too, you know, like, I think if you look at our booth, it looks like fancy. It looks like we might have a lot of things in our bank account, which no. And so if you have your own brand, right, and they're seeing your brand out there, no matter what it looks like, you become a target just on how you advertise and brand yourself at a bridal vendor event. Like what? So yes, definitely check into that process. That was one other question I had, Jaci. In regards to creating an LLC, do you recommend that they work with someone to do that if they haven't done it, or is it something they can get on like the government website and just open it?
That's a good question. You can absolutely apply for a federal tax ID number on the IRS website for free. And so there are resources there that can help you. I can link that. I've looked at everything. I'm trying to find, you know, a simple way to make sure everyone's protected. And unfortunately, I haven't found a simple thing to send you to. But if you work with any legal team, they're going to be pretty pricey. So definitely a look around online. But you can file for your EIN, which is your tax ID, on the site, and make sure to check your states as well.
Awesome. Thank you so much. All right. And then we will be posting this recording. I want to do one last shout out over here. I'm going to take you guys to our website. But if you are in the Georgia area, All-in-One Beauty with Christina Fernandez, who is a killer permanent makeup artist, you guys, #1 in Brooklyn. Look at all these things. She's been on BET, MTV, Wedding Wire, all the things. She'll be in your area hosting an exclusive training for permanent makeup, or excuse me, lash and brow training in that area. She has 3 different package options available that are absolutely phenomenal. So you get to learn from the best in your home state. So check that out on our website. And then on Tuesday, the 19th, we will have another free educational event over social media and how to use that to build your beauty business. So if you haven't subscribed to our site yet, please do. Please also share us and push this out. As I said earlier, we are on a huge mission to change the status quo for the beauty industry and also for females in technology. We want this platform to be something where both beauty professionals and women in executive leadership roles cannot be ignored or disrespected or underpaid because of what they think we do or don't bring to the table as women. And so we are building an army to help us do that, because we cannot do it by ourselves. So any share that you can do within your networks, whether it's social, email, your social medias, your email list, texting your friends, we appreciate that. It truly is going to take all of that to take us to the next level of this, and then be able to plug that into ways to continue empowering all of you and helping you guys grow your business. So if you benefited from this today, please share us. We appreciate you so much, and we hope to see you in a few weeks. Bye, everybody. Have a great day.
Hi, guys. Thanks.